What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the studio. So I am back from a 4-day weekend. I know people are all like, hey man, you missed Monday and Friday. What happened? I'm like, well, took a break. I took a 4-day weekend. I had a lot of homework to do. So before we get into this, before like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends and family that love comics, anime, and gaming. And I appreciate the feedback from these last couple videos I put out last week. A lot of people are like, oh man, you're on a roll with these videos, dog. And y'all actually giving me some feedback. So I really do appreciate it. I'm probably going to start doing this more and more and more. Just giving y'all little small videos of some news and just call it a day. You know what I'm saying? So, but other than that, guys, I love y'all. So let's go on and get into this very, 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 I don't know what the word I'm looking for. That's why I keep saying very, but it's very interesting. That's the word I'm looking for. Article that reads about Andrew Garfield returning as Spider-Man in the Sony universe. Now, let me go on and give you a little rundown if you haven't been keeping up with what's been going on with Spider-Man. So Spider-Man is a big property right now. Like, Spider-Man is probably the only hero that I know right now who's getting the multiverse treatment, and he's getting it in all different types of ways. He's gotten it in video games. He's gotten it in movies. He's gotten it in the animated series. Like, he's the only hero I know right now who's doing the multiverse, and he's doing it pretty damn well. And so we just got No Way Home, which was pretty much flexing the multiverse in the MCU, pretty much introducing the multiverse, kind of, sort of, in the MCU, because I still sitting here saying that in WandaVision, they did use it a little bit, but Spider-Man, No Way Home, they did it, and in Multiverse of Madness, they just going full throttle with it. So in the Multiverse of Madness, not Multiverse of Madness, but No Way Home, we end up getting Tobey Maguire, who was the first ever Spider-Man in movie theaters, whoever got to play Spider-Man on the big silver screen. Then we got Andrew Garfield, who was the second Spider-Man to play the second person to play Spider-Man on the big screen. And then we got Tom Holland. They all teamed up to take down their versions of their villains from their, respective universe. So we had Doc Ock, we had Green Goblin, we had Electro, the Lizard, we had Sandman. We were just missing one character, and that would have complete the not trifecta, but the Sinister Six, pretty much. So we didn't get that though. Instead, we got 5, and that was about it. But it was nice to see all 3 Spider-Man on the screen, the Spider-Man that we grew up watching on the screen, teaming up together to take down these foes. Now, pretty damn good movie. Not a problem, not at all. Everybody go back to their universes. But see, something happened when, the multiverse was all broken up and all that stuff during that movie. See, Venom from the Sony universe had came over, and Vulture, Michael Keaton's Vulture from the MCU, ended up going over to the Sony universe. Now, once all things were said and done in No Way Home, Venom ended up going back to the Sony universe, but Michael Keaton's Vulture did not return to the MCU. Instead, he just stayed in the Sony universe, which I found kind of odd, because I'm like, if Venom returned back to his universe, how come Michael Keaton didn't return back to the MCU? Well, come to find out, in the end of Morbius, and they didn't explain it, but pretty much what happened was Michael Keaton stayed in the Sonyverse. They let him out of prison, because he ended up being in prison in the Sonyverse. They were all like, hey, Adrian Toomes didn't do anything. Why is he in prison? Let him out. They let him out. He ends up getting his new Vulture suit for the Sony universe, finds Morbius. Now, mind you, Morbius does not know who the hell Spider-Man is at this time. Meets up with Vulture and was all like, hey, you want to go beat up Spider-Man? And Morbius was all like, sure, let's go beat up Spider-Man. And that was pretty much the post-credits for that movie. And that was about it. And so it seems like Sony is still trying to go with their whole Sinister Six movie, which is pretty much 6 villains who hate Spider-Man are gonna pretty much team up to go kill Spider-Man. That's pretty much their purpose, is to kill Spider-Man. Now, right now, all we have is Venom, Vulture, Morbius, and Kraven the Hunter, which is on the Sony side, because Kraven the Hunter is getting a movie. As you see, Morbius and Michael Keaton's Vulture teaming up, and then there's Venom. Now, my problem with this whole scenario is this: where the fuck is Spider-Man? Like, Michael Keaton's Vulture should not be in the Sony universe. Morbius doesn't know who the hell Spider-Man is. He hasn't even met Spider-Man yet in his universe, and he wants to kill him already. He knows who Venom is, but he doesn't know who fucking Spider-Man is. And speaking of Venom, how is there a Venom without Spider-Man? Venom is his whole purpose is to kill Spider-Man. Well, not to kill Spider-Man at the beginning. That's what his purpose is. That's the reason why he was made. if there is no Spider-Man, there should not be a Venom, but yet there is a Venom. Matter of fact, the alien's name when he first came to planet Earth was Venom. And I'm like, I thought that was the name they gave themselves when Brock and the symbiote merged together. They were like, we're Poison the Spider-Man. We're Venom the Spider-Man. Oh, that's our name, Venom. But that, I guess that's the alien's name. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not how it worked in the comic books. And even though I'm not really that type of person, a stickler for source material, like, oh, you're not following the source material, this shit's trash. Like, nah, because I'm like, people have the right to, change up the story just a little bit, just a teeny bit, just a little bit, to fit the story they're trying to tell. But when it comes down to Venom and all stuff, we all know that with Venom, there's Spider-Man. Like, it's kind of hard to work around that one. Like, it's kind of honestly hard to work around that. But I think Andrew Garfield, what happened was he got a hold of the scripts and he was all like, nah, I'm okay. This ain't for me. And on top of that too, I don't blame him if he did say no, because think about it like this. No Way Home was a blockbuster movie. And even though he was in a movie for he was in there for quite a lengthy time, yeah, he probably might see this as a downgrade. Like, if I do this movie, it's not gonna really do me no justice. Even though we want to see him get a redemption for Spider-Man 3, the Amazing Spider-Man 3, but what it's looking like is like that's not gonna happen because, mind you, Amazing Spider-Man was with Sony, and I guess they wanted him to be the Spider-Man for their Sinister Six movie. And it's all like, it would look bad because if the movie is based on the Sinister Six and they are the ones who's supposed to be the stars of the movie, why would you want your stars in the movie to get their ass beat? Like, that's pretty much what it looks like, because that's what's going to happen. The Sinister Six get defeated by Spider-Man regardless. And if they're the heroes, they're the stars of the movie, wouldn't you want your stars of the movie to look good? So majority of the movie is going to be them beating down Spider-Man. And even though, yes, when the Sinister Six do first pop up, they do beat down Spider-Man pretty badly. I mean, it's in the comic books, it's been in the animated series. Hell, it was in the recent Spider-Man game, the Spider-Man PS4. They beat up Spider-Man. The Sinister Six beat up Spider-Man on top of the, I forgot what prison that was. But at the end, he still ends up taking them down, either one by one or at least when they're teaming up with each other. Like, for instance, I think one of us in the animated series, he took down Shocker and Rhino at the same time, I believe. But I'm going off topic here. But the Sinister Six needs Spider-Man. And if you don't have a Spider-Man, then what's the point of making a Sinister Six movie? Now, the rumors is, and in the article, it says that they are trying to come up with their own Spider-Man. So that means we're getting a fourth Spider-Man. That means we're not getting Toby. We're not getting Tom. We're not getting Andrew. We're getting a brand new Spider-Man. And I'm like, whoever wants to play Spider-Man for this movie, I can't, I don't want to call them desperate, but it's kind of desperate. Because I'm like, one, you're not even the star of the movie. It's not even a Spider-Man movie. I mean, it's a Spider-Man movie, but it's not a Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man's going to be in it, but it's not going to be, heavily featuring Spider-Man. Yes, he's going to be like the main target, but it's like the main feature is going to be the 6 members of the Sinister Six. And I'm like, Andrew Garfield was probably like, nah, I don't think I'm going to do that. And I don't blame him, honestly. I do not blame Andrew Garfield at all. So, I mean, what do you guys think? This is where I'll let you guys, discuss, was this even worth something to even bring up? Like, why would they even ask him that after he done did No Way Home? I honestly think MCU should take over all Spider-Man stuff. Everything Spider-Man should be MCU and MCU only. Sony should have just did like what Fox did and just gave up everything, Fantastic Four and X-Men. But Sony was so damn greedy. It was like, no, we're going to keep Spider-Man. We're going to keep Spider-Man. But they don't really have to hold to Spider-Man because I'm like, the MCU's making the movies. So it's like, here, we'll give you Spider-Man, but we're not going to give you all his rogues gallery. We're going to give you half of the group. I'm like, and it must be weird going into board meetings, talk about something. Okay, what villains can we use or what can we not use? You can use Mysterio, but you can't use Venom. You can use Molten Man, but you can't use Sandman. It's kind of weird. Like, if that's how things go down, like, it's like doing a draft pick. Like, all right, we got Venom, but you guys y'all got Venom. Damn, all right, we need Mysterio then. All right, bet if we got Venom, of course we don't get Carnage. So give us Carnage too. That's how I pictured it. It was really something like that. Honestly, like I said, once MCU got a hold of Spider-Man, they should have got a hold of everybody else, the Rogues Gallery and everything. Like I said, there shouldn't be a Venom without no Spider-Man. But what do you guys think? Do you think this is kind of stupid that Forbes even made an article about this? I thought it was pretty cool. pretty interesting that they did something like this, due to the fact that, you know, like, everybody's been asking for Andrew Garfield to get his redemption as Amazing Spider-Man. But we'll just have to wait and see. But other than that, guys, I love y'all. Take care of yourselves. Peace.